We're going to play a game of true or false on this episode of Locked on USC. The topic, Caleb Williams.
You are Locked on Trojans, your daily podcast on the USC Trojans, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Fight on, everyone. I'm your host, Mark Holkin, and thank you for making Locked on USC part of the Locked on Network, your first listen every day. Whether you're watching the show on YouTube or wherever you want to download your podcast, never forget the show is free, and always remember how much I appreciate your support. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. There are going to be 8 Trojans working out this week at the NFL Combine. And obviously, Caleb Williams is the highest profile Trojan prospect out there, potential number 1 overall draft pick. But there are also 7 other Trojans in training, including Marshawn Lloyd, Brendan Rice, Taj Washington, Jared Kingston, Kalen Bullock, Solomon Byrd, and CRW, Christian Wallace. The draft is in April, and in my opinion, I feel really confident that if we put the over-under at 6.5, I think 7 of those names are going to get drafted. Now, as a prelude to the Combine, NFL.com analyst Lance Zierlein, he put together profiles on all of the players expected to be there. In this segment, I'm going to play a game of true or false. And again, it's going to be about Caleb Williams. So Zierlein highlighted the strength and the weaknesses for Caleb. And as I go through each one, I'm going to say true or false. Now, so far, after every game, I've offered my own detailed analysis. So I think I have a pretty good idea, enough experience to agree or disagree based on my own live in-person observations, covering the team for the last 2 years with Caleb Williams as their starting quarterback. This is what Lance said in a general evaluation. Williams' play is highlighted by rare escapability paired with the talent to exploit defenses once the play breaks down. He's not tall, but he's well built with an arm to challenge defenses across the field. He can be a high-impact playmaker on the go or an effective pocket passer when he allows himself to trust his eyes on second and third reads. He can improve his accuracy and placement on intermediate and deep throws, but he's unlikely to be known for pinpoint accuracy. It's admirable that he looks to keep his eyes up and make throws outside the pocket, but he'll make things easier on himself early in his pro career by becoming a more decisive scrambler to move the sticks and carry on to the next set of downs. Williams is tremendously talented, but often bites off too much responsibility and plays off schedule. He has a good chance to hit new heights with a surrounding cast he trusts, but greater self-discipline and a well-structured offense might be needed to help him become a quarterback who can elevate a franchise to a championship contention, end quote. Oh, it's an interesting. I think the point to take away from that, Caleb Williams has yet to win a championship in college. Conference. Didn't do that at Oklahoma. Didn't do that at USC. Definitely didn't win a national championship. I think that was a pretty fair and accurate analysis. The last 2 points really highlighted, I think, what happened this season, at least partially. The part about taking on too much and, not moving the sticks enough. So, again, that's how Lance saw it. And I think a lot of us saw it that way throughout the season. So here we go. True or false? And let me know if you agree with me. And if not, why? You know where to find me in the comment section. So here are the strengths. There's not going to be a lot of disagreement. I'm going to tell you that right off the bat. But here's the strengths according to NFL.com's Lance Zierlein. Forced to keep his team in games with high-end production and did so. True. Absolutely. And that was never more so evident than in 2023. So yes, it's definitely true. Better consistency projected with pro targets who separate. Sure, true, generally speaking. I think that's kind of just a general blanket statement that you would probably throw to any top-tier quarterback that's going to the NFL. And I don't know if that's so much a dig at USC's wide receivers, but you guys decipher what he meant by that. Rapid fire transition from fake to throw on RPOs, on the run pass options. That's definitely true. Caleb is sneaky quick when he goes through that. Caleb puts enough pace on the ball to challenge safeties to a variety of spots. Partially true. Here's where I disagree. If it's as long as Caleb isn't being forced to do deep throws against cover two, because the other thing Caleb did not enjoy was when defenses dropped 7 or 8 guys into coverage. So that's something he's really going to have to work on at the next level. Also, he'll reset his pocket to create better throwing angles. True, absolutely. He was much improved at getting air under the deep throws in 2023. True. I mean, he actually let the players go get the ball. We often heard, remember Brendan Rice would talk about, I had to make sure the ball didn't he was able to catch up to the ball. Here's a really cool stat. Remind everybody of. Caleb's touchdown to interception ratio in the red zone, 46-1. And that's since the start of 2022. Now, that's an amazing stat, and that's going to give head coaches a really good sense that he values protecting the ball when there's scoring opportunities. He keeps his eyes and his arm alive when leaving the pocket. He has a rare talent to feel pressure, escape, and extend the play. That's true. I mean, Travis Dye said back in 2022 that, Caleb has magic feet. I mean, that's what makes Caleb so special. So obviously those were his strengths, and there's not a lot to argue about. But here are the weaknesses, according to Mr. Zierlin. Caleb, he's adverse to playing throw and catch football on schedule. I agree. That's so true, especially this past season. It felt like Caleb was constantly looking, changing the play, draining the play clock, and then looking for the big play first while bypassing the easy plays. His eyes can become sticky and sluggish working through his progressions. Again, I think that's true. And it goes to my analysis above. Caleb stayed with the big play too long. Didn't use his other options enough. A little bit of, I don't want to call it hero ball, but the big play was always at the forefront of his mind. He must learn to throw with better anticipation, timing on the NFL level. False. And let me explain why. I mean, that's kind of like saying that no quarterback that's coming in the NFL needs to be better at the NFL when they're coming out of college. I mean, let's be honest here. Chemistry and learning your wide receivers' tendencies against NFL defenses, that's a learned skill. It takes time. And it takes years to master that. I don't know of any quarterback that came out of college where that was something that the evaluators were saying, hey, he's going to be able to do that right away. Now, maybe Joe Burrows. I don't know. I still think he even had a learning curve. Caleb has a hero ball mentality, creates indecisiveness and inconsistent decision making. This is also true. Everyone, please listen carefully, because I'm not about to say that Miller Moss is a better quarterback than Caleb. However, Miller, the quarterback transfer killer, he made great decisions and did not try to be the hero against Louisville in the bowl game. What Miller did was make quick, smart choices and avoided the bad ones. Something that, they're being critical of Caleb in what I just went over in his evaluation. So instead of taking a sack or forcing a throw, what Miller did was turf the ball. He would throw it at the player's feet. He avoided taking a loss. He kept the team from playing behind the sticks. Caleb last year specifically had a habit of relying on those magic feet too many times. And he was also, I think he was really loose with his ball handles when he was under pressure, especially, excuse me. So where he was really good at protecting the ball in the red zone, when he was trying to escape, That's when he wasn't in the red zone. That's when he forgot some of his fundamentals. The analyst also said that he had a disconcerting deep ball accuracy in a quarterback-friendly offense. First of all, that's false. And second of all, what does that even mean? One thing Caleb was good at was his accuracy, regardless of the depth of throw, whether it was short, intermediate, or deep. Now, will Caleb throw on the move unnecessarily rather than platform up? I also think that's false. I know that everyone likes a technically sound quarterback, plants his feet, doesn't throw off, doesn't throw off, with off his back foot too much, follows through. Maybe you can corral a thoroughbred horse, but you don't really want to take away what he does too much. Let him do his thing. Let Caleb, let the Patrick Mahomes of the world, let them do what they do. And the other thing was he passes up easy scramble yardage for more challenging throws. This is also true. There were way too many times that he could have ran for a first down or more, but instead he was looking to, and I'll say, pad the stats throwing the ball. Again, that's my evaluation, that last part there. So there you go. True or false? You heard him. Let me know what you think in the comment section over there on YouTube. And let's have a discussion about it. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. With killer last-minute deals on, they also have all-in prices. They have views from the seat and their best price guarantee. Game Time is going to take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Game Time has easy to find and buy tickets. And they also have an event cancellation protection plan. Right now, all Game Time users, if you use code Locked On, you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. So go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. What if this year's spring camp is actually going to be a tryout camp? The more I reflect on what USC Trojans defensive coordinator D'Anton Lynn said at the introductory press conference last week, the more I think about his slow install philosophy. What did he really mean by that? Coach Lynn said he can't evaluate his side of the ball strength until they get on the field for spring. We want to make a little look like a lot, adding that the goal is to keep it simple and to get the basic fundamentals down. Now, I really hope he's talking about the fundamentals of his defense and not the fundamentals of ankle pursuit, tackling, wrapping up, good eye balance. If we're focusing all that into the fundamentals, I'm going to be a little concerned by the end of spring. How much actually did get installed? So again, how much of the spring is going to be used on fundamentals and deciding who has them and who needs them? Again, this is what I meant about using the slow install verbiage. I think it's coach speak. It's a euphemism for let's see what Grinch and the previous staff left behind. What do I have to work with? Lynn reminded the media that last spring when he was working at that school across town, that one, that he moved very slowly installing the defense. He said, I'm trying to go into spring with an open mind because I know it's going to be a completely different defense. I saw players at UCLA make big jumps that maybe I didn't expect, and others not make a jump that I expected. So while the USC players right now are, they're going through the winter conditioning drills, they're competing against each other, creating that bond, gaining camaraderie, hopefully becoming disciplined. Coach Lynn and the rest of the defensive staff, they're watching film. They better be. And I'm hoping that each of them have a barf basket right next to them, because they start getting that queasy feeling sick, like we all did watching the defense last year in person. I want to just make sure they're prepared so they don't have to get up. Get it out of your system. Keep watching. I'm being sarcastic. So when spring camp arrives, is the new, finger quotes, simple defense that's being installed slowly, is that to make sure the guys on the roster understand the defensive philosophy? Again, or is the staff looking at who fits their, finger quotes, completely new defense? Remember, Lynn's defense is going to be, according to him, completely new, and it requires bigger guys. Grinch's defense liked quicker guys. I'm not really questioning whether or not the team will be ready by the time the spring game is played, April 20th. I'm sure they'll be ready. But how patient will the players and the coaches be? My only point is that if Lynn is going to emphasize that his scheme is simple, but he also emphasized that there are multiple variations, what's going to be acceptable when spring camp concludes? Look, I don't expect a depth chart, but I need to know who's ahead of the curve, and also who needs a remedial course in fundamentals. I think we're going to see, I don't know, maybe a lot is not the right way to describe it. We're going to see more movement after, maybe during, and definitely at the end of spring camp. Remember that transfer portal window opens up again April 16th, runs through April 30th. USC spring game is April 20th. Get that little sweet spot in there. So again, is spring camp this year, because of the new defense, because of so much uncertainty, I think we should probably be looking at it, and the players, especially on that side of the ball, should be looking at it as a tryout camp. Get buckets with your first bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers, you're going to get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 if your bet wins. And you can bet on all of your favorite NBA players, your favorite NBA teams. They have quick bets. They have live same-game parlays. They have exclusive prop bets, and they've got more than just that. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and shoot your shot. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. All right. Did it yesterday. We're going to do it on this episode. We do it twice a week. This week's favorite class of 2024 recruit of the week is Braylon Conley. Braylon Conley, he was considered a 3-star safety. He's from Humble, Texas, and he played for Atascocita High School. God, I hope I pronounced that correctly. He's 6 foot. He's 170 pounds. And USC actually pulled his commitment away from Texas. I think that's where everybody anticipated going. But he had all the major offers. I mean, he had Georgia, Oregon, Michigan, Texas, Arkansas. He took 3 visits to Texas, and then he took 3 to Los Angeles. And once he took that trip to LA one time, it was all over for the Longhorns. His last trip to Texas was in January of 2023. By June 30th, he was committed to USC. Yeah. He took his official visit in August. So he was one of those June guys who hung on, stayed to the very end, even while his defensive coordinator and position coach and his lead recruiter, Dante Williams, were relieved of their duties. That alone makes Braylon this week's class of 2024 favorite recruit of the week. I love players who understand the word commitment. That is, I think that gets lost. To me, that is a great value to have, great characteristic. Back in October, we RSC caught up with Braylon to find out why he was solid with USC. He's not an early enrollee. He's going to be at USC in time for the summer player run practices. But this is what he said back in October. The atmosphere is beautiful. The family environment too. It's just one of a kind. Nothing can really match up with USC. That's why it's home. I've always wanted to live in a city, but the connections, it's unlimited, really. So that's a part of the reason why I chose USC. Outside of football, they have a lot of opportunities. Now, as a defensive back, when you play that position, whether it's safety or cornerback, you better be confident in your abilities, or let's be honest, you're in the wrong industry. He was asked what he and his 2024 classmates are bringing to USC, the defensive backfield classmates. I think we can bring some physical DB play. We can all come down and make tackles. We're not just cover guys, but we can come down and make plays and tackle too. And then he said, as for his own personal evaluation, he said, I'm just a high IQ guy, physical, and a good tackler as a defensive back. That's awesome. You cannot have enough smart physical guys who can make their presence felt in the secondary. You need those. Now, he's listed as a safety, but I think he's going to project better at cornerback, possibly the nickel spot when he's playing at USC. So, you know me. I like to peel back the layers, see who are these guys? Who are these young men that USC is bringing in? Who do they want to represent in the Cardinal and Gold? This is my favorite part, getting to know who they are. So I actually found an interview he did with an Arkansas newspaper when he was considering the Razorbacks, and they asked him some rapid fire questions, and I'm going to shoot through those. So the first one, what is your mom always on you to do? His answer was, my schoolwork. Oh, and by the way, Braylon loves math. And did you also know that he carries a 4.36 grade point average, and he's considering engineering as a major? If that's the case, great. His classes will be right next to the McKay Center, Heritage Hall. Vertebrae, the engineering school, is right next to Howard Jones practice field, and as well as McKay Center and Heritage Hall, right there. Now, interesting enough, he said if he wasn't a football star, he would want to start real estate. Maybe he wants to build, I don't know, because engineering, real estate, I'm sure he can, there's some overlap there somewhere. His next two answers, they were consistent. Do you love or hate roller coasters? He said he hates them. What terrifies you? He said heights. Okay. However, if you could choose a superpower, this is what he said: the ability to fly. Maybe he wants to conquer his fears because, I don't know, that just caught me by surprise a little bit. Doesn't like roller coasters, doesn't like heights, but he wants to fly. Okay. Like I said, maybe it's all about conquering his fears. He said his hidden talent is drawing. His favorite fast food chain and why? Chick-fil-A. I love the food and the service. He's going to be just fine at USC because the team gets fed that all the time. This is what he said he will never eat: coleslaw and oysters. Now, number one, he's from the Houston area. That's interesting that he's not into oysters. So that's fine, because Braylon, I'm with you. Coleslaw and oysters are not on my menu either. So, smart man. Good job. He said he gets emotional when he's competing on the field. I'm a hype when playing football, and I have a big passion for the game. That's great. You'll love to hear that. He said the best advice he's received: respect is earned, not given. I could not agree anymore. That is such great advice. I even said that to my dad one time. Should have saw the look I got and the reaction. Might have earned my respect right after that. His role model and why. My dad. He's a hardworking and stand-up guy. I like it. So far, I love his answers. He was asked to give 3 words that describe himself. He said competitive, smart, laid back. So there you go. That's Braylon Conley. I cannot wait to see what this young man looks like up close. And especially then once, USC takes the muzzle off the freshman, and that won't be till sometime during or after fall camp. Nevertheless, right now it sounds like another really high character, high quality guy that Lincoln Riley puts such a high value on. I really like Braylon Conley. Again, I don't focus on the stars. 3-star, 600th ranked player in the country. I don't care. I look at the program that offered you. I listen to what the player says. And to me, that's the sum of everything. So there you go. That's this week's favorite recruit of the week. I'm going to be back with another episode tomorrow, because it's what we do around here 5 times a week. Locked on USC, your team every day. And if you like what you heard, do me a favor. Help keeping this show grow. You're part of that process. If you're watching on YouTube, become a subscriber. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up like you're Hulk and hit that bell notification button. That way you will not miss an episode. So until then, everyone, you know what to do.